On August 28, 2009, Mark Saylor was driving at a speed of 190 kilometers per hour in a Toyota dealership's loan car. In the car, he was accompanied by his wife, his daughter, and his brother-in-law. His brother-in-law calls the emergency number 911 in the car, and what you are about to hear may be a little uncomfortable for you.
911 emergency, what are you reporting?
The accelerator stuck.
I'm sorry?
Our accelerator stuck. We're going 120, Mission Gorge.
Mark was trying to apply the brakes, but the car was not stopping, and his race pedal was stuck. The highway was about to end.
We're in trouble. We can't, there's no brake.
Okay.
In freeway half mile.
And these people were about to reach the intersection where the cars had stopped.
We're approaching the intersection.
Okay.
We're approaching the intersection. Hold on. Pray.
Okay.
Oh, shoot. Oh.
Okay. Hello?
To avoid colliding with other cars, Mark drops the car off the road. All 4 people in the car die on the spot. The recording of this 911 clip goes viral, and everyone, especially Mark's relatives, blame Toyota for this.
Our accelerator stuck.
And new trouble for Toyota.
Toyota has a problem.
And then more reports start coming.
Forward and hit the cement wall in front of us.
For the next 5 years, a total of 90 people have lost their lives in Toyota's cars.
It showed a blatant disregard for systems and laws designed to look after the safety of consumers.
Now, because everyone blamed Toyota, the company called back 10 million of its customers' cars for inspection. They had fined the U.S. government $1.2 billion.
It will pay a financial penalty of $1.2 billion.
And they had spent more on a $1.1 billion class action lawsuit. But what exactly happened in the accident? And was it really Toyota's fault? In the beginning, the floor mats were blamed. And there was a big reason for it. This Toyota Lexus that Mark was driving had met with an accident. It was a loaner car. Mark had given his car for repair. So the company gave him this car to use. He can use this Toyota Lexus until his car is repaired. Just 3 days before this incident, the same Toyota Lexus was given to another person to use. And that person also told the same issue, that the race pedal was stuck. But he also told the reason that it was stuck because of the loose floor mats. So Toyota called back their customers' cars for inspection in a massive quantity. They told their customers to stop using floor mats. They thought the problem would be solved. But this does not happen. Even after this, more cases of acceleration pedals getting stuck occur. Then it becomes clear that this issue is more complex than floor mats. Malcolm Gladwell, a journalist, recorded an entire episode on YouTube on the case of Mark incident. He gave a very controversial answer. He said this:
But if your car is suddenly and mysteriously accelerating, all you have to do is step on the brakes, because brakes beat engines.
You will notice this on the bike as well. If you do not release the handle of the race and apply the brake at the same time, the bike will stop a little further. The car and the driver did the same experiment, but with a big and powerful sports car, and this was the result. The brakes overpowered the engine and the car stopped. So if the brakes overpower the engine, why didn't Mark's car stop? It may seem strange to you, but Mark didn't press the brake at all.
So why couldn't Mark Saylor stop his Lexus that day? I know it sounds ridiculous, but it's the only logical explanation. Because he never put his foot on the brake.
Think of it this way. When you sit in your car, you get used to the pedals of your car, which is called muscle memory. It means you don't have to think much about where the brake is, where the race is, how much to press. Your brain works on its own. Most of these mysterious acceleration cases have been seen when the driver was in an unknown car. Like Mark was driving a loan car. People sit in an unknown car without observing it, and instead of pressing the brake by mistake, they press the race. And this has been proven by research. National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and NASA publish a report on these mysterious acceleration cases. They observe the black box of the car. This black box stores all the information before the accident, during the accident, and after the accident. This tells them that in most of the cases, people didn't press the brake pedal. These people accidentally pressed the race pedal. This is a pedal error, and it is very common. So now we know what happened to Mark Saylor, and the case is solved. But this doesn't happen. After 2 months of Mark Saylor's accident, it turns out that Mark was pressing the brake. And in his case, the problem was something else. Malcolm Gladwell said that if both the brake and the race pedal are pressed at the same time, the brakes will overpower the engine. But Gladwell forgot to note the most important thing. That was power-assisted brakes. These brakes were designed to take power from the engine, but they had the biggest fatal error. Consumer Report took a Toyota car which had power-assisted brakes. They also did the same test which Malcolm Gladwell did. They pressed the race pedal and the brake. The brakes overpowered the engine and the car stopped. Then these people conduct another test and change only one thing.
Let's see what happens if you lift your foot off the brake in this situation. Again, wide open throttle, 60 miles per hour, hitting the brakes, car slowing down. I'm going to lift off my brakes just once and then back down. I've lost power assist. I cannot slow this vehicle down. I'm pushing all my might. I'm going 40. Say I lift off my brake again and pump them. Now I'm going 60. Cannot slow down the vehicle.
Only once he removed his foot from the brake. Then the brake was not working with the stuck race pedal. Mark Saylor did not suffer from pedal error, but he suffered from loose floor mats and power-assisted brakes.